Thomas Massie. So let's make him the supreme leader of America. Imagine you're asking the Attorney General of the United States about the largest criminal investigation in United States history, and she wants to talk about the Dow or the NASDAQ, and then she's confused as to how you find that irrelevant. She's not the head of the Fed or the head of some economic committee. She's the top legal authority in the United States, and she wants to speak on the Dow. And I'll tell you why. It's because they're all on the same team. All these people behind closed doors, after the performance, you know what they're doing? They're making out with each other. They're cheating on each other's wives and husbands. When Trump talked about draining the swamp, that's what the swamp is. And when a country is led by degenerates, the nation will degenerate. So while we're all excited about Epstein and the emails, 3 million emails, redacted, unredacted, we all know the reality. We all know the truth, but we have to pretend to be serious. We're serious people. Is there proof? Is there conclusive proof? Is there evidence to suggest A, B, C, D? Everyone knows what these people are. And you know what? You think there's only one Jeffrey? You think Jeffrey Epstein was the only one doing all this? There's hundreds of these guys, and they're all operating. And one of these operatives is who? Well, Jared Kushner, who's supposed to be saving us in Ukraine and Russia and Iran and Gaza. He's saving us from everything. But where does he come from? Who's his father? Well, his father is great friends with Benjamin Netanyahu, and Tim Dillon points this out. And you know why he went to jail? Well, he wanted to use blackmail against his own brother-in-law, who's married to his sister Esther. And you know how he did that? Well, how else do you coerce your brother-in-law into doing something that you want? You send him a prostitute and then you record it. That's how these people operate. Nations are not run by the people. They're run through blackmail. Nations are run by personal interests. And currently, there's an overproduction of elites. There isn't just one king at the top. And this class of elites is having an internal battle, but a working relationships. So while we hate and fight our own families and friends and communities on their behalf, they have a working relationship behind closed doors. And they set us against each other for their personal interests. So even though they'll have disagreements and they might want to have more power than the next guy, they won't send each other to jail. Do you really believe that the cameras weren't working and the guards fell asleep, and now we're being told that he's a Russian spy? You can't make this up. But nonetheless, we'll never see real justice for any of those women and girls that were abused. And we'll never see justice for America that's being blackmailed until the swamp is truly drained and the system is emptied out. Think about it. With all the emails and all the names listed, forget a prosecution. There hasn't even been one investigation into any of those names. And you know why that is? It's because they're all on the same team. They're just having an internal struggle for who will have more power, because they view themselves above the law. And an attack on one of them is a threat to all of them. But once in a while, they'll throw us a little crumb to quiet the masses. And that's why Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, but the warden is her personal secretary, providing her with a puppy and gourmet meals. And who really still believes that Epstein ended his life in prison? And with that said, one of the few men who hasn't been contaminated by the swamp, and why the swamp has turned against him so viciously, is Thomas Massie. So let's make him the supreme leader of America.